increases. Star?
Thanks very much for that, Monica.
You're welcome.
CTV's Monica Verma reporting live for us tonight from Fredericton. Bruce?
Well, as we mentioned a moment ago, we no longer consider global warming an issue our children or their children will have to deal with. It is something we are dealing with right now. We're joined tonight by someone who spent a lot of years researching how global warming is affecting our weather patterns. He is an award-winning conservation biologist. He is Dr. Reese Halter, just released a brand new book, Wild Weather, The Truth Behind Global Warming. And we want to thank you so much for joining us on Live at 5 tonight, Reese.
Thank you, Bruce. How are you enjoying a green Christmas and a white Easter?
You know, and that was being talked about a lot around here, especially this week. We talk about global warming, how it's affecting us right now. Can we draw a direct link between the extreme weather that we've seen and the greenhouse gases building up?
Unequivocally, yes. As CO2 rises, the temperature rises. And I guess the interesting thing is that even though it's warm, we're getting these cold snaps. I mean, today the peach crop is decimated in Alabama because of the nor'easter. So our weather patterns are flicking around.
So this is not just long-term blips, and these are actual changes.
These are actual changes, and I don't know if you saw Texas today covered in snow, and if we have another 36 hours of this cold, so much for the blueberries and strawberries in the Midwest of the United States.
Well, sure. Well, let's talk specific examples. You mentioned the snow, the blizzard, something a lot of Maritimers, you know, have had to deal with over the years. Explain how climate change affects the ferocity of the blizzards that whip up our way.
Well, in a nutshell, I guess it's not unusual for the Maritimes to have snow in April, but it's the volume of snow. Before we were lambasted the other night here, it came from Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine and New Brunswick, and it took out 180,000 homes and their power. So it's the amount of snow wet that fell.
Another chapter dealing with something that, again, Maritimers very familiar with. We had Hurricane Juan here several years ago.
Yeah.
Hurricanes. How does global warming affect hurricanes?
Well, directly. As the southern Atlantic warms up, a hurricane draws all its energy from the warm Atlantic and then into the Gulf. And that is something we don't want to be playing with. And temperatures are going to rise. It's just now, Bruce, how much they're going to rise.
From a maritime perspective, again, I suppose erosion, something else we need to be very concerned about.
Erosion, but I get excited on the other hand of the opportunities. The truth behind global warming is it's change, ... opportunity in disguise. And the Maritimes are poised to take advantage of solar, wind, and tidal, and they're going to do it. And they're out of the blocks already. Canada's got the longest coastal line in the world, and they've got windmills, we got water, we got waves, and solar. The prairies are heavy with sun. Let's get at it.
Let's. We just saw the story on roundtable discussions going on these days on the topic of climate change. Are Canadians, are North Americans starting to get that message? Is it really starting to come out?
Absolutely, it's starting to get out, and it's you know, there's varying things that can be done. First of all, I'm stoked with the leadership by industry. In the last 2 years alone, we've had $15 billion in capital markets go into wind and solar. That's a lot of new jobs.
Sure.
But on the ground, people can do lots. I rounded up my family a couple months ago. We sat in front of the computer, went to my website, drreese.com, figured out how much energy we're using, and we figured out right off the bat where we could save. It didn't cost us a dime, and in fact, money in the pocket. So on the ground, there's a lot of things you can do. On my website under global warming, there's 24 things, and maybe for each member of the family, why not plant a tree in your yard?
You mentioned corporations, a major role to play. Are they getting the message? Are they starting to get the message, or is there still a lot of denial?
Oh, no. Make no mistake. When you get General Electric, when you get DuPont, when you get Walmart and the likes of on and on, they've got billions of dollars. Also, when you get BP and Royal Dutch Shell, that now make up 2 of the top 10 solar companies in the world, they get it, man. It's a race. As far as I'm concerned, it's who's going to be the next solar billionaires.
Well, we'll keep our eyes open for that. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Dr. Halter.
Thank you.
Dr. Reese Halter, an award-winning conservation biologist. New book is called Wild Weather, The Truth Behind Global Warming. And we should mention that you're doing a presentation on this very topic tonight, 7 o'clock at the Micmac Mall, the Chapters store there.
Chapters, Dartmouth, yeah, please come on out.
All right, come on out. Let's head back to Star Dobbs.
Thank you very much. We're ready to wrap up this first section of Live at 5, but we'll have your latest maritime weather forecast with Maria Panopoulos a little later in the show. And we'll meet a maritime man who is sure to be the envy of every employer. But up next, it's time to hit the books.
Well, one thing is to try